Hey everyone, welcome to January's IndieBox video. I am James, and this is Scott. For those of you who don't know Scott just joined us as part of our support team who basically when you guys write in and have questions about where you can find your Steam keys, which are on the website, or maybe you have a question about what next month's box is, this guy is the guy answering all those questions for you. So
doing my best.
Yeah. If you address your support tickets directly to Scott, he will get them. It feels more personal rather than like a robot, I guess. So anyway, let's talk IndieBox. For those who may not know, I know Scott, you just joined us, so maybe you haven't heard this story, but the reason that I started IndieBox with Jason like 2.5, almost 3 years ago is I was basically in the games industry for a while, and none of the indie games that I was making, none of the stuff I was working on really panned out that well. It was just one of those things where the market's so saturated, and it was just one of those things where games were just all over the place. Indie was huge, it still is. I got out of that industry, went into banking software, like you do, and it was horrible. I spent 8 months. It was really bad. I immediately regretted what I had done, and I was like, I gotta get back into the gaming industry. And I wanted to do so in a way that was learning from my past mistakes. Like, I didn't want to make games. People made games a whole lot better than I did. And so I was thinking, how do I get back in this but solve the problems that I had, which was games aren't being recognized. And we came up with IndieBox, which was another revenue channel for developers, another marketing channel for developers, and it introduced indie games to a whole new audience, people that like physical versions of games, which you previously, I mean, unless you're like a AAA game, you're not getting in stores, you know?
Yeah, it's hard to get physical titles, physical game copies of certain titles.
Yeah, it is. And so we were like, all right, let's do the subscription service. And so we came up with this physical box, like a big PC box almost, a little bit smaller just for, today's kind of small space on your shelf kind of thing. So what we did was we took orders, and we were off to the races, and we kept growing from there. And the reason for my love of physical games is I remember growing up going to stores like Kmart or Toys R Us and looking at the games there. Like, remember Toys R Us had the plastic like sleeves that you had to like turn over, and sometimes some dude like put it in backwards, so you're like upside down trying to read it, and there's like a whole aisle of those games.
Oh yeah,
man, I remember those
going there
days.
and spending some time just playing some of the games.
Oh
too.
yeah, they had so many game
demos.
stations in Toys R Us. It was awesome. And so, like, I remember doing that, and I'd select a game. My parents would get it for me. I was a kid; I didn't have a job, and so I'm in the back seat of my parents' car. I'm like tearing it open. I've got the manual. I'm like reading every page, even like the flyer for like Nintendo Power or something like that. I was like, ooh, and I read even like the fine print. Just the fact that it was something inside a game box, I was so excited about. And so before I even got home, I was already hyped about this game. This is before like unboxing videos and online trailers and stuff like that. There was no internet. You had like Nintendo Power, GamePro, things like that.
You had to get lucky sometimes and catch the commercial on TV if you could.
Yeah. Then that was about it.
What it was about, even.
Yeah, there, like, if your rating system got to you like 3 months later in a magazine article, like, oh, that game did suck. I rented it from Blockbuster. Like, looking at you. What was that game? Tom Cruise's movie that he had? Top Gun. Good Lord, looking at you, Top Gun. So anyway, so that's kind of where my love of physical games comes from, is that time in my life where it was like these games, physical version in my hands, having something that came with it, like even games that like Killer Instinct. Killer Instinct came with that Killer Cuts soundtrack, and dude, I wore that CD out, man.
That was a great CD.
Yeah, that Orchid theme.
The Orchid theme.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
so Orchid's theme is amazing.
Orchid's theme. If you guys don't know what the hell we're talking about, you need to find out. You're missing out on life if you don't know about the Killer Cuts.
Killer Cuts with
soundtrack
a K.
With a K. With a K.
So anyway, so that's kind of like where IndieBox kind of stems from, is we want to bring that feeling back to people that have experienced it, like our age, and then people that have no clue about like what games used to be in stores. Like now you get like these just like Blu-ray cases that have like a sheet of paper that tells you like legal print and how to hold a controller.
Yeah,
and that's about it. And so we wanted to do things up where you felt like you got a great value. $60 for that small case was like crazy to me. And I'm like, all right, let's do something that's like $25, like just a little bit more expensive than the digital version that comes with like the soundtrack and a full color manual, stickers, collectibles, replica items, plushes, like as much as possible we could shove in there. And it's like $25. So that's kind of where we came up with the idea of IndieBox and where we're at now. So speaking of like finding new indie games and having a struggle in that area, we decided that we wanted to become like a curator, almost like a voice in indie games about what games you should play and which ones you should check out. And so recently we've actually started a curation page based off of our games that we're playing on our indie game night every Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern on Twitch. Make sure you subscribe. Anyway, so the game night that we do, it's our time to kind of get together, like quite literally as a team. We like to just do stuff together, but we wanted to play games. We felt like why not just stream it where everybody else can hang out with us, and if subscribers or people that are just like hearing about IndieBox want to come ask us questions about last month's game or how we make things or whatever you want to ask us, like come join the fun. But we play a lot of games. We played January's game, which was amazing last week, and we also played Overcooked. And Overcooked, if you have not played Overcooked,
fun.
That's good.
It's a fun game.
Tell me about Overcooked.
Overcooked is it's a team kind of head-to-head thing where you're basically in a kitchen. It started out we did all of us in one team. There was 4 cooks. So if you guys have ever been in a kitchen, you know sometimes you can have too many cooks in the kitchen.
Quite literally.
Overcooked, we were trying to all work together to basically, you have to chop stuff, put it in a pot to either cook a soup or make a burger.
Fish and chips.
Assemble it and then put it out, and then a guest is eating it, and then you get the dirty dish back. Someone has to take the dirty dish and clean it so they can then use it again, because you only get a certain number of dishes. But it was a lot of fun. It was a really cool game. We all worked together for a little while, and then we actually did some head-to-head stuff, and that's when it got like real cutthroat. It was a good time though. It was really entertaining, and it was just dumb fun.
Yeah, it's a 2 to 4 player or 1 to 4 player co-op game,
right? Where
you're all taking on different jobs,
right?
And it's just pandemonium.
Oh yeah.
It
was good team building. We were learning to communicate.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I'm gonna do this. You do this. I'm gonna do this. You do this.
One thing I really liked about it is when we played that first mission, like the intro mission with like the spaghetti monster. Spoilers, sorry. It's the first thing you do. You go to this overworld map, and it's very much like Super Mario Bros. 3.
Oh yeah.
And feel where like you have all these different locations that you can go to and that unlock after you play different levels and things like that. So we recommend you go play Overcooked. It's amazing. Grab some friends. It's couch co-op. There's also a co-opetition mode where you can split into groups and play each other as well. There's all kinds of cool stuff in it. Skins. There's DLC even for it. Like there's a winter pack where you're cooking. Yeah. There's where you have like
each level has
dishes.
Stars. Like you get a certain amount of stars on each level to like unlock the next one.
Yeah,
it was like 1 to 3. I think 1 to 3 stars.
Right. And so once you download the DLC, like you can play the DLC, which is like a couple different like theme packs without finishing the game.
Oh, okay.
So like if you get stuck on a level, like it doesn't bury you.
Oh yeah, no, I do remember the winter one. We went
like
did like one level in the winter one. It was like, hey,
it's hard.
It
was tough.
The main character, like the main character who's like telling you what to do. He has a dog, I guess. Remember the dog? I think. The dog thought that there was something happening in the North Pole or South Pole or something. Yeah. And that's why we were there in the winter thing. That was funny.
Good storyline for a game that you wouldn't think would have a lot of storyline.
It was, but it really was something that they did really well with.
Yeah. So if you want to see Overcooked or any of the games that we've played on our IndieBox game nights, check out our curation page here. As we mentioned when we had our game night last week, we played Hue, and Hue is our January IndieBox game. If you've never heard of Hue, it is a game by Fiddlesticks, and it's a platforming game. The visual style, if I were to describe it to you, is sort of like Limbo meets a color palette. Limbo's a fantastic game, but this one is a little bit more vibrant in color, and the storyline is really great as well. So the storyline is basically you are like a lost boy who his mother has disappeared, and he discovers like this letter.
That's sad.
I know. His mother is writing him letters from the colorless world or something. I don't want to spoil too much,
right?
Because there's you find these you find these letters as you play, and it develops the story as you're going along. So I'll just the very intro is that you're this lost boy. You wake up, mom is gone. You have to find these letters that explain kind of what has happened. You find out more about her history. It's like things you don't know about your mom. Like, it's crazy. And then you go through the game and you do these different platforming adventures. And what makes this different than any other platformer I've seen is that you have this like color spectrum, a color wheel, which is represented by a ring.
It's really neat mechanic.
Yeah. And so you switch to these different colors to make different things appear in the environment. And so the game is a ton of fun. You actually just got done playing a good chunk of it. What did you think?
Yeah, it was like you said, it was a good example what you used, Limbo.
Yeah.
Because Limbo is a very similar style of game, as in it's a platform puzzler.
Mm-hmm.
Hue, you're actually having to manipulate this color wheel, like you said, to make things appear. So it's really enjoyable. It is a challenge. You know, you walk into a room and you're like, okay, now what? What do I need to do now?
Yeah.
You have to find the path to get through this room and to get to the next area, and you're having to discover these colors as you go. So it's a really interesting game. I think that it was really well thought out, and I really enjoyed it. I just played it for a little bit. I wasn't there last week during the gaming night, but I will be there tonight. The next one. So, but it's a fun game. I really enjoyed it. I think it's like you said, it's a really great game and award-winning, actually. Yeah,
it's won a ton of awards. Casual Connect awards there. Developing Indie, Reboot. It's won so many awards. It's actually crazy. If you go to their Steam page, they have like a list of a ton, and then at the bottom it's like and many more. It's done very well for itself. We wanted to feature it. One thing I did want to mention about the platforming is there's a lot of platform games where you enter into a room and it's like, okay, I get what I need to do. I see the puzzle here. Well, quite literally, because there's different color hues, you can't see the solution automatically. And so you're having to discover the solution as you're playing the level or each room or something to that effect, which I think is a lot more challenging and adds a lot more replay value to the game, because those games where you platform and you're just like, okay, I'm just going through the motions because I already know the solution, it doesn't feel as challenging. It doesn't feel as like engaging to me. And Hugh does a great job of like capturing that feeling of wonder and how do I figure this out. So we definitely recommend it. We want you to pick it up. There's a collector's edition available. Just go to the IndieBox.com, sign up. Your first month will be January if you sign up before the 18th of 2017, if you're watching this like at 2020. So you've probably missed out. And it's $24.99 a month plus shipping and handling, or you can subscribe for longer, which makes the price go down. That's kind of how subscription boxes go. We will give you videos every month. You'll join our community, join us on game nights, join the IndieBox family. We have a good time. We're at shows. It's a lot of fun. Get Hue. It's amazing. Support the developer, Fiddlesticks, and that's the developer's name. I'm not just like shouting Fiddlesticks.
Yes, Fiddlesticks Games.
Yeah, Fiddlesticks Games. And we can't wait to deliver that box to you. It's going to be really good. And speaking of boxes, speaking of is the best segue ever. Speaking of your game box, in this month's box we have two really cool bonuses that we're including in there.
Bonuses are good.
Yeah, bonuses are fantastic. The first bonus is going to be an extra game.
What?
So you're going to get a full Steam game in your shipping box, only for subscribers. If you buy this in the store afterwards, you're not going to you're not going to get this. This is just for subscribers, the IndieBox family that subscribes every month. You're going to get a game. It's called Fake Colors, and it very much fits into kind of what we're doing here with colors and hue. So another, I wouldn't say platforming game. You can look it up on Steam here if you want to see the trailer. But the cool thing about this game is like you're using colors and switching and things like that, but the game mechanic is like one of those box games where you're trying to like figure out how to roll the box on different planes and get it into like different situations.
Gotcha.
Really cool game, and we want you to check it out. This is part of our IndieBox Spotlight, so we want to spotlight indie developers as much as possible, and so we had the opportunity to feature this game so that basically you can check it out and go on their Steam page, leave a review, leave feedback. If there was something you loved about the game, let them know. If there's something that you think that they could have done better or something to that effect, let them know. Give them that feedback. Be respectful. IndieBox family is all about like being cool to developers, so make sure you're not going on there and like raging and things like that. But yeah, give developers some cool feedback. Check out the game, and then the second thing is we're going to give you a 3-month trial for Air Console. So if you don't know about Air Console, this company has these games on like their own like Steam kind of thing, where basically you use your phone as a game controller. And so they've got all these really great games on there.
I've heard of this. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's really cool. You can have games that have like 30 people playing at the same time because everyone's just using their phone as a controller. So you're not bound by like a $50 or $60 game controller.
Yeah, it's meant to be like a party kind of thing.
Yeah, it is. It's definitely a party platform. We're going to give you 3 months trial for that so that you can play it, see all the cool games that are on there, try it out with your friends. It's a really quick app download. You gather around your computer, hook it to your TV with your HDMI cable, and bring some friends and have some fun. But enjoy that. It's completely free. 3 months.
Yeah, that's fun. I've heard about Air Console. It's similar like Jackbox Party Pack, where it's meant to be a party game kind of thing. Where
yeah, that's a good comparison.
You get together with a group of friends, and you all have your phone, and you all log into like a website or something that it gives you with a code, and then you all play the game together, sort of either head-to-head or cooperative, whatever game you choose to play.
Yeah, and their trailer, I don't know if we're going to put the trailer on top of us or if it's not here. Just check it out here. Their trailer is hilarious. To talk about this service and how it works. They've got all these kooky situations like working in the office or like a slumber party or things like that. It's hilarious. Check it out. You're going to get 3 months free, like I said, in your subscription box. So subscribe at theindiebox.com. All right. Well, I think that's it. That is our monthly video. A few reminders, a little bit of housekeeping. We're going to be at PAX South. Our booth is 10282. In San Antonio. Come say hi, come meet us. I'm sure we'll have some really cool stuff like some really good deals. If you want to pick up some of your past boxes, we'll bring some of those things. If you want to subscribe at PAX South, we'll have a really cool deal for you there as well. If you want to get a second subscription or something like that, hey, we got cool stuff going on. So come see us, PAX South in San Antonio. What else? Oh, deadline. Subscribe by the 18th. That is our cutoff date. What we do is we do a hard day so that we know who's getting this box, and then we work on shipping labels and putting them on boxes, packing everything, and then shipping it out all at once. So make sure you subscribe by the 18th so that you get Hue. And that's it. Watch our latest video here. All right, everyone. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of January, and we will see you in February, if not before, at our IndieBox game nights. See ya.
Take care.